That schoolboy defending.
This season, try PointsBet's NFL Bet Tracker. Bet on NFL markets like passing yards or receptions and follow them live in the PointsBet app. Available on singles, multis and same-game multis. PointsBet. Built different. Imagine what you could be buying instead.
Welcome back, everyone. It's the Aces NFL show. It's wildcard weekend, and I reckon it's the biggest weekend of the year.
Love it.
All
Cannot
the best
wait.
teams.
Yeah, this is what everyone's been waiting for.
Do or die.
Like, here should be some good footy. We're excited.
Weird week last week.
Oh.
You couldn't get markets.
Yeah.
You could get most, but they were like
understandably why.
Yeah.
You never know who's actually playing in week 18, which is, it's always a bizarre one. But yeah, just like no markets out. What's going on?
I got one terribly wrong. I went. I think I nailed the Washington game. I went Terry McLaurin Ertz, but I took Daniel's 200 passing. He got subbed within like the first. I said, "You're kidding me." So like the couple of markets there, they got me points.
They got a couple there
but
on
there
us
was
for
also
sure.
some crackers, and I reckon the incentives, just for everyone listening. I mean, how good was that incentive?
That was good.
You could clearly tell blokes like Hopkins weren't going to get it because they weren't even playing, but Evans and Sutton.
Yeah, it was good to watch.
Like we said, they were the best bets of the year.
Like Nick's throwing deep balls straight away and just try and get it done in the first quarter was hilarious to watch. It was unreal.
Let's not hold back. How cool was it to have our specials on PointsBet app?
So good. It was unreal. We were a little bit stiff with it, but it was awesome just to be able to get that sorted. That was unreal.
We're going to get them up again, and we'll get on top of that early because the markets are up already. So we don't have to wait because it's not week 18. It's wild
all the
card
big dogs
weekend.
are back now, so now we can just go full steam ahead, which is awesome.
And we get games Sunday Australian Eastern Standard Time, 8 a.m.
And great times too. No 5 a.m. stuff anymore. We're on. We're on. Morning, lunchtime. It's ready to go.
Well, let's get straight into it. It's going to be a big show. I need to start with our tipping competition. There's a few dramas here.
There's a bit going on.
Now, this could be sitting on my shoulders, but to our man Daniel Bean, who's sitting on top of our
He's
leaderboard.
clear, so he should be pretty safe, but you never know.
Beano, you're up by 4, but the season's not over, mate. I don't know if I explain this, but it goes to the Super Bowl. And if I have done this wrong, then you let me know because I'm all about accountability. But I've got our man Sippo
Get your tips in.
behind you.
Get your tips in because I'm coming.
Can you believe it? You're sitting second. I gave up halfway because I accidentally missed a week.
Baltimore was stinking it up, so we gave up there real quickly.
I actually missed a week by accident, and then I know you can't call him back. But
that's great.
So, Danny, you're up by 4, and you'd be stiff to miss out from there. But please
couple
don't
of big
think
weeks
it's
on you,
over.
mate. Couple of big weeks
It'd
for
be
you.
hard to lose from there.
It would be, yeah. It'd be hard to lose.
I think Danny commented on our social media, said
the hot takes, and he was right there ready to go. I had a little cheeky read, and he was pretty happy with the situation. But you're not done yet, pal.
And you're not the only one. There's Riley Bockel, Adam Mangia. There's a few right below you as well.
Yeah, no, it's good.
So tipping competition is alive.
Yes.
Just wanted to hit that on the head.
Love it.
A little bit of housekeeping. As I said, the Osborne is where we're having our Super Bowl party.
Yep.
The details are still to come, but just get it. You know what it's like. Just let your boys know and your girls know that that's where we're going. Righto, let's go to week 18 before we get into wildcard week because for the first week ever, I almost didn't want to review, but you just have to review.
You got to do it.
Big moments because I want to get into this week's games.
Got to review.
Righto, Pickens couldn't have played worse.
Putrid. Just like you talk about Pucci. You talk about Pucci all year. That was the definition of Pucci. I don't know what was going on there, but the Steelers are struggling in general, and he was just a part of it on the weekend coming back, and he was just nowhere near it. So. It's going to be very interesting to see what happens this weekend.
Saw a graphic. It was, it was just 2 photos, Mike Tomlin and Mike Evans, and it's pretty much just, it's a given. Yeah. You're going to get 1,000 yards and you're going to get a positive season, but they're going to go nowhere.
That's right.
You know how many arguments I have with my mate Zach Dawson because he loves Tomlin?
Yeah.
And, I don't mind him, but at what point do you grow or do you go backwards to go forwards?
I agree.
And they go, well, no other team would have stuck around and lost to the Bengals by 2 without. And I said, well, they didn't have Higgins and, Chase Brown wasn't there.
That's
They're
right.
on the road. It's
That's
not that
right.
it's.
In the end, when does 10-6 just become average for him? Well, what do you want to achieve out of this? Do you want to win Super Bowls and all that? Yep, all well and good. Haven't been under 500. That's an incredible effort. But, I don't know what do you have to really show for it? Nothing. You've had one Super Bowl win in that whole time, and which is obviously still very, very hard to do. Don't get me wrong, but when you have that record, you would have thought maybe a couple more would have been under your belt. So yeah, I think it's fair enough.
I've got a note here. Watch him dominate this week because he plays my boys.
He'll find a way to dominate, I say. But I don't know. That secondary has certainly lifted for Baltimore in the last 6 weeks, so you might have another tough one.
Yeah, I hope so. Well, Mike Evans reaching that milestone was crazy.
Was so sick. When you saw him line up straight away with 30 seconds to go, I was like, they're not taking a knee. You know, he's up there in one of the 3 wide receivers there ready to go. It's going to be a cheeky little route somewhere. And that was just awesome. Everyone losing their mind, and that was it. Walk off, another 1,000 yards. Thank you very much.
Someone posted the big Rizzy from the Saints, the head coach. He should have put 12 on him.
Yeah.
What a dog's that would have been if they just put everyone, left everyone free and just put 12 blokes on him.
Put 11 on him. They put 11 on him.
They wouldn't mind. Great. They wouldn't mind the Bucks paying him another $3 million, though, would they?
Nah.
And by the way, side note, I think this is correct, and correct me if I'm wrong, Aces, but he missed 3.75 games this year, he must have done a hammy in the start.
He did.
So to do 1,000,
he missed about 5 weeks. He missed about 5 weeks of football because he did the hamstring well
Does
and
he go
early.
1,000 next year?
Yeah,
because that's what I reckon. That's on his mind.
How can you not? How can you not? Just keep it going.
And
unreal.
Have you seen the Buccaneers Instagram page where they just filmed him? He just literally stormed off the field.
Yeah, he just went
off
the
the field. He didn't even say anything. He's like, he must have had a lot of adrenaline.
Yeah.
And I reckon he was real
There's
flat.
a bit going on.
Well, when Bucky rushed that 20-yard, he goes, I'm done.
Yeah.
I thought he was done.
Yeah.
I was like, come on.
I thought he was going to miss by 5 yards. I genuinely thought he was going to miss out by 5 yards.
A lot of people got
Jeez, he was looking hard for him. Yeah. He had like 15 targets.
I know. And they needed to win the game.
Yeah, I know.
So it's like...
It got to a point, I reckon I saw Mayfield. He was looking for him in about like the third quarter or something like that. And he saw it was like 20 yards out end zone. He was looking for him. He goes, we've got to score here. We're down. Like we're losing right now. And the tight end was wide open. You're like, I've just got to win. I've just got to win the game now. It is what it is. So first half though, he was looking for him like almost every single time to get it going. But
and quite early. And they started horrendous.
Yeah, they did. That's what I'm saying. Like that, they actually had to win the game to be able to give themselves the shot to make it in. But it was still awesome to see.
And I want to give Tom Brady a shout out because I felt like it was the best bit of commentary he's had all year. His excitement where he's just like, whoa, like, I don't know, there's that moment, it's one of those moments that you'll never forget. And I just felt like that everyone, even the whole stadium, I think someone put it was just an amazing moment.
Yeah, it was awesome. It was awesome. I'm so glad because I almost like turned it off. I was like, they've won the game. I'll take an hand. I was like, hold on a sec. Nah. And I almost turned it off. I was like, nah. And it was good. It was so awesome to watch. Unreal.
So good. And
you could hear the crowd like slowly going like, like going up with Evans as soon as the ball was out of Baker's hand.
And I thought, no, he's going to get squashed at like the 4. But he's so good that he cut back and then dived. He got his 8.
Yeah.
I think someone texted me, they put him down for 90. He had 89 for the game. He actually went under his line because his line was like 95.
Yeah, I reckon he was under the line.
A lot of people had a few bad beats. Okay, Sutton and the Broncos, same thing. I mean, there's 2 points here, but Sutton Broncos, grouse. But can you imagine being a Bengals fan watching that? You got your Jets win. You got your Steelers loss.
Yeah.
Was that what was that? They beat the Steelers.
So they beat the Steelers to give them the shot. Miami, they had to rely on losing, and they did. They lost to the Jets, and then obviously, basically the Broncos had to, the Kansas Chiefs third team had to try and beat the Broncos first team, and we saw what happened there. So, yeah.
The highlight would have been Carson Wentz's outfit. He's fit pre-game.
Gosh, wasn't he just prepared, ready to go, and just...
He's had that fit ready for a while, I reckon.
Gosh. Yeah, no, it was just... Yeah. I don't have much else to say. Good on Sutton, obviously, getting in and stuff, but, I mean... Yeah.
Just one player from the Broncos. We'll go into it later. But Mims, I'm telling you, I think he would have had a 30-yard reception 6 out of the last 7 weeks. And I reckon he's had a touchdown, maybe even double. I have to look at the stats in a second, but he's been enormous. Yep. And I don't know what he's going to do in this, this playoffs, but he's going to be a superstar. Like just next year, I think he'll be one of those players that'll make you a lot of, get you a lot of points in fantasy, especially if Sutton's still there, because he's hard to defend.
He is.
They use him a bit. They use him, not like Kamara, but you can see he is that weapon where like we'll run a jet sweep, we'll run him at the back, we'll get a little slant or a little screen pass. Like he's kind of involved in the offense heavily.
That's very good. No, it's a perfect point, and it's opened up their offense massively, probably over the last 6 or 7 weeks. To be honest, like they're putting points on the board. Earlier in the year, they were relying on the defense to get it done and keep it close and see if the offense can get a few things. But now they've really has opened up their offense a lot, which has been pretty good to see.
Bo Nick's apology. We're not going to get into it yet, but if I'm going to propose something later because he is playing Josh Allen, so I think and it'll be fair. So let's just park that. They played the Chiefs thirds. Aaron Rodgers last game, 4 tuds, and he got one to Adams.
Frustrating.
Yeah, I think Miami are weak.
I think they are too.
I think they gave up once they realised.
I think you can tell by what's happened afterwards well with that loss, to be honest, what's happened with being mind mentally.
The cheater pulled himself off the field
and we'll get into that.
And he's changed his display picture to
he's changed
AB.
it. Yeah, he's changed it.
By the way, I've got strong mail that Antonio Brown is in Melbourne for Aussie Open.
Wow.
And it's a very rogue.
I heard I thought you were going to keep that by yourself there. You weren't going to let the deets out.
Well, I could be wrong. I'm relying on one source. A source close to...
You love the sauce too, don't you?
No, I hate the sauce. I don't. What a disgrace that is.
He loves the sauce.
Tomato sauce on the eggs. You beauty.
It's huge though.
The sauce.
If that is true though,
we need to get him on. We need to get him on. And Brad, you want to get that van back out because we have to go to him. But I don't think AB will come to us.
Excellent. Excellent.
Aaron Rodgers 4 touchdowns.
Yeah.
There's one thing I want to talk about though. The trick play to Adams. It sums up their year and my prediction at the start of the year.
He almost killed him.
Oh.
Like, that was one of the biggest hits I've seen all year.
Well, there's 3
and he almost cut him in half. Almost cut him in half. It wasn't as big as who was it from Detroit that got lit up? Gibbs got smoked.
Well, I think Willis caught one. Have you seen Willis's one on the blind side?
Mate.
Have you seen it?
Nah, I
he's sitting there and the guy off the blind side. I never know who it was, but he wasn't like it. He wasn't from the D line. It was one of the boys from. It might have been a cornerback. I'll get it up. I can't remember his name. Oh, mate, he's
scary stuff.
Him.
Oh my goodness.
Couple of big hits this week, but Aaron Rodgers 4 touchdowns, goes off the field a winner, which is awesome to see. He walked off with Adams, and it reminded me of him and Cobb.
Yeah,
and obviously it was. I think it was planned.
It looked like I don't know. Rodgers is so confusing to even remotely.
He doesn't even know what he's doing. I don't
know. Like, I mean, he's going to have to go into a dark room again for a couple of days.
Well,
he's going to have to consider
he won't muck around. He said he's going to have a meeting with him the next day.
I think I just don't know what else what he's got left. I don't know. Like, that's a good way to go out. Like, I don't know what you.
Okay, you're Rex Ryan. You're Rex Ryan. We'll talk about that in a second.
He would probably love Rodgers.
By the way, Rex Ryan, the comments around him, they love him, which is what you probably need in New York, someone they love.
Yeah.
He comes in. Now, he ain't going to get bossed around, I don't reckon.
No, he's not.
But do you reckon he wants Rodgers for one more year?
Probably.
He wouldn't want like a Tyrod Taylor or.
No.
So there's
he want a star quarterback. Yeah.
I just don't know what's going to happen. And
I don't know.
And it's sad. Like, I watched LeBron dunk it today, left-handed. I don't know if anyone watches the NBA. And I'm thinking, we aren't going to get these guys much longer. And we're sitting here talking about, look, people are talking about Rodgers saying, hang him up.
Yeah.
When he plays like that, it's annoying.
I know. Like, where has it been for 12 weeks? And that's the team that we expected to see for most of the year. Where?
Yeah, terrible. Anyway, we'll move on because I'll get a bit flat.
Yeah.
Let's talk about the cheater.
Yeah.
He said he's out, and I agree. And I've told you all year, like, he just runs routes, whether he's injured or not. But McDaniels, I don't reckon McDaniels should be there any longer. Oh, yeah. And if it's not him, then I'm happy to be wrong. But his offense...
You've arguably got the best offense in the league.
Yeah. And the cheater, I don't even think he got a yard on the weekend, did he? Like, how can you not give him something?
Yeah.
I'd be giving it, I don't understand
He's had 1799, 1711 or something the last 2 years, respectively. And then this year, he didn't even reach, he got nowhere near 1,000.
He played nearly every game.
Yeah. He got nowhere near 1,000. Well, actually, not nowhere near. I think he was like 940 or something.
890.
Yeah.
I saw it.
But just like miles off.
Yeah.
And I know Tua's been out for a little bit and stuff like that, but you're still the main guy. So it's play calling.
It's more the target. Yeah, and they're playing from behind all year. He hasn't beaten anyone plus 500.
Shocking. I heard there was a little whisper today that he sat down with head honcho, owner, GM, and supposedly it's been like there's a little more calmness towards the whole situation right now.
I get it because he's
But,
hot after the game.
It will be interesting to see what happens though. It will be.
I just find it funny, like, you know how we want media in the change room? He's like, I'm out, bro. Like, it's the worst. Who the fuck says that? You know what I mean?
15 minutes
Like,
after the
at least
game,
like a deep breath.
there's about 30 people around. He goes, I'm out.
Oh, man, I can't do this anymore, man.
I'm tired, man. Tired. What do you expect when you take the cash going from a winning situation and then you want to take the cash? What do you expect, mate? Like, it's just
Okay, so landing spots for the cheater. Micah Parsons.
Chargers.
Do you reckon?
Is one.
I don't reckon the culture will want him. So
look, I don't think so. You just purely think from what maybe they need. They need a wide receiver. Okay, Tyreek Hill. There you go. But I agree with that in terms of culture. I don't think it's going to would be a super fit for him at all. No.
I would have thought Garrett
Who do you
Wilson or Devontae Adams might be on the market, and
Yep.
that's a perfect spot for them.
Yeah.
Well, I think the Dallas Cowboys make sense. It's a bit of a show.
Yeah.
He would sell more tickets.
Yeah.
He'd sell jerseys.
Yeah.
Dak will be healthy.
That's a
and their
fantastic
first
call.
pick in the draft, I think they'll take one of those gun running backs.
Yep.
So all of a sudden their offense
Yeah.
is stacked.
Yeah, I think it's a great call.
Ferguson has had a down year.
Yeah. CD,
CD,
Tyreek. Yeah.
and you've
it brings
got
it back on.
You got a couple, Tolbert and Brandon Cooks will probably leave.
Yeah.
I don't know what their contracts are, but there's depth.
There you
as
go,
well.
Jerry Jones.
I mean, they did nothing last year.
They did nothing this season, and I know they were out. I know they were injured in terms of, but beforehand, like you didn't bring anybody in. What did you expect was going to happen? So I don't know, but I know if we know Jerry Jones, he's happy to make a big splash somewhere, and maybe this is the year for it. So watch out.
It does make
It's
a
a
lot
good
of
call,
sense.
though. I think it's a great call.
No taxes.
Yeah, I think it's a great call.
Probably can pay him a little bit less than
Yep.
what he wants, but won't get taxed.
Yeah.
I don't know. It'd be good. And I know you don't like Dallas, but it'd be great to see Dallas healthy.
Well,
going
that division
head-to-head.
needs to be some form. Imagine if you had Washington continue to do their thing.
Well, they're going to have.
And Dallas obviously can find a way to get some personnel back and actually get going. And then you've got the Eagles because the Eagles aren't going anywhere.
They're stacked.
All of a sudden, that division is on.
Poor
It's
Giants.
on.
You got the Giants.
I know, but the 3 out of the 4 ain't bad. So
The Giants are the toughest schedule next year.
Oh.
Work that out.
brutal.
Yep.
Because they expect the Cowboys and they expect Washington to continue on and the Cowboys to get back. So you automatically play them twice and they go,
Yeah.
Giants are cooked.
Mm.
So, which is fine with me. But anyway.
It's going to be interesting to see
Yeah.
what they do. There's a lot of talking points. I'll get the draft picks up in a
it's
second. Righto, Detroit smoked the Vikings,
Yeah.
and it was quite disappointing, that show.
Yeah.
But what wasn't disappointing was our man Gibbsy. He
gee.
was, we put up our special on PointsBet for 3 tuds
know.
between Amon Ra, Jefferson, and him, and he got them all.
I mean, we got it.
we just didn't get the yards. But, geez, JJ was terrible, wasn't he? Now, I could put it down to Darnold, but their red zone offense, I think I got a screenshot here. I'll
Yeah.
get it up. I
It
said
was
it
the
to you
worst.
earlier.
Yeah, it was the worst in.
It's up there. Yeah, I think it might have been the worst.
But they
we've
had
seen.
like 4 red zones in a row, 4 red zone drives in a row. No points to show for it.
Here it is,
3
here.
times they went for it on 4th down and missed.
There's been 1,028 games in the last 5 NFL regular seasons combined. The Vikings tonight had the worst red zone success rate of any qualifying team in any single game over the last 5 seasons.
Unbelievable.
So you take a bit of confidence out of that game, I reckon, knowing they cooked that.
Yeah.
Because they didn't lose by much. And I reckon they forced a couple of turnovers. Mate, it's a
derail
weird
them too.
game. It's a weird game. Like, you know when golf
You
just
went
slung
for
it?
on 4th down as well, though. That's the issue. Like 4 plays and you can't.
What about
get
when
it.
they didn't and they kicked the field goal and he missed? I thought that was weak.
Yeah.
I reckon that's a decision
Mind
you
you,
regret.
Darnold had a couple genuine open to JJ and flew it over his head too. I mean, how about that cut from him? And then he absolutely cooked the corner. He's wide open out the back and he sails it over the top of him. Things like that.
Put that
is
down to the pressure on the
well,
D
he
line.
had time. He had time.
Yeah, I
that was
know.
one of the rare times that Sam had time in the pocket there to get it done.
Don't worry, I know. I had JJ for a
But
touch.
that's what makes me worried now, actually, for Minnesota going into the playoffs now.
They're going to work them out.
I think so.
Surely they'll prepare for that a bit better.
I don't get me wrong. I think they do, but I just still think going to go on the road. You got beaten up pretty bad. It was
Rams don't have
31-9.
that, do they? Rams don't have the same defense as Detroit's secondary's banged up, but their D line's okay, isn't
Yeah,
it?
their D line's still okay, but they've still got their 2 best players out. Detroit's 2 best players
Geez,
out.
that'll be good.
Yeah, you get Smith back and you might get Hutchinson back at the deep end, but it's going to be tough.
Super
But
Bowl only.
I
Surely.
still think low key Rams D line is pretty solid. Like without having a star and stuff, they still kind of get the job done. So I
don't think Addison had a yard, did he?
He didn't touch the ball.
Yeah, he'd be flat.
He didn't touch the ball.
And JJ, I don't reckon he got a yard after halftime. I felt like
I think he maybe had a little one for like 8 or 9 yards, but like just gone. Yeah, just really. I think they just got found out a little bit. Like for the first time, they got found out a little bit, and teams eat that up. Like McVay's a genius.
What about? I don't know if I didn't like this, and the only reason because I want Lions to do well.
Yeah.
But Dan Campbell at the end of the game goes, "Great season.
Yeah,
I'll see you in 2 weeks."
yeah.
And I just thought, "Oh my god, that's going to come back." I mean, it won't come back to bite the Lions. They don't care. They'll bite your kneecaps off. But I'm just thinking, Sean McVay's going to put that up on the board.
Yeah.
And I just know it's going to motivate them.
And that's the other thing, too. Like that's the other thing. Yeah, it's so interesting how that happens. Like get that caught on camera, and McVay's got that written up everywhere. It's like, you think they're going to come into our backyard?
Yeah.
And get the job done? Rams are arguably one of the better teams in the league right now. They're firing at the perfect time. Good luck.
They have struggled offensively, I reckon, except for last week.
They beat the Vikings last time there, though, earlier in the year, and you've got Booker and Coop.
We're going to get into that. Let's get some screenshots up before we get to a few more news. Christian Watson ACL for the Packers. That's nasty.
Tough. That's going to be that's a big loss. Yeah. That's a massive loss. Yeah.
Some screenshots, mate. So just going to Bryce Young, 25 of 34, 275 total yards, 5 total touchdowns. I think he rushed 2 and threw 3 and got the chocolates over Atlanta, which was a must-win in case the Bucs lost in overtime. He's going to be an interesting watch next year. That coach of his, I like him. Yeah. He's a really good coach.
I hope Carolina take that momentum that they've had in this back half of the year and kind of can drive it into next season because it was actually pretty exciting to watch, to be honest. I thought they had some really good plays. They were so competitive against the Eagles on the road later in the year and use that momentum and see what happens. Yeah, I like what I saw. It was exciting.
Mate, question from us to you, because you understand this more than anyone. Just going back to the start of the season when Caleb Williams was drafted, he sent a text message to our man, Tory Taylor, and said, "You're not going to punt too much here." Now, I got the stats, and I just want to know. So, Caleb Williams threw 3,541 yards, and Tory Taylor kicked 3,911 yards.
It's a lot.
It's a lot. It's almost 400 more.
He had 82 punts this year. That's a lot.
Can you just give us an understanding of what's normal? Like, what's the average amount of punts you'd have in a season and yards?
The average, I would say, and you get to 60. I'd say average is about 60. I reckon. He's had 82, so that's a ton.
And what about yards?
And then the yards 3,009 is a lot. So you know that's the case that their offense has been really poor because not only is he kicking it, but he's kicking it from like backed up in positions in the minus territory. So he's obviously having to let it woof to get it going. So 3,900 yards from a punting point of view is big. So I don't know the exact like average or whatever it would be, but anything over like 3.5 is pretty solid numbers, like big numbers.
Do you know what yours were one season?
I only hit my first year, both years and that I was there playing Philly. I think I only had like 56 in my first one, and then I was probably similar, if not a little bit less, in my second year. So yeah, like just extreme.
And you played every game that year?
My first year I did, and then obviously I got injured in the second year, so I missed like 4 games. So skews it a little bit, but
still,
that's what I said. Like average about 60 punts for the year is probably about right. So if you're having 82 or 83, whatever they're big numbers. They're big numbers.
Speaking of big numbers, Joe Burrow's season to miss the playoffs is crazy. 4,918 passing yards, 43 touchdowns, only 9 interceptions, and a QB rating of 75.2, which had him third. He was tied first for touchdowns and yards. It's hard to believe, and it's actually sad that they're not in the playoffs.
Yeah.
I don't mind it because I'm a Ravens man, but I
just for entertainment wise though, like they're so good to watch.
They are.
It's just like
and they put up points, so it's disappointing.
Bills and Bengals would have been just unreal. Yeah.
Bryce Young, aka the Carolina Reaper, in 2024. Listen to this. He got the Saints head coach fired. Yeah. He ended Daniel Jones's career. He ended the Cardinals' playoff hopes, and then he finished the Falcons' playoff hopes off as well. This guy's got a little bit in him.
He's got a little bit in him, a little bit of ticker. It was exciting. It was exciting to see. It was awesome to see. So, yeah, good on him. That's what I'm saying. I'm excited for what they're able to do next year. So, yeah, I can't wait for that. Let's go back. We'll go back quickly to Tory Taylor for a second. I just got the stats up here for a second, okay?
Yeah.
So, most punts for the year for a single player was Corey Bojorquez from Cleveland Browns. He had 89. Second was Tory Taylor with 82. Then you had a few in the 70s, and then you start to get down to the 60s and the 50s, right? So very, very high numbers. Tory Taylor was second with 3,911 yards. The only person to beat him, of course, was Corey Bojorquez, again with 4,387 yards. The next best was Michael Dixon at 3.7, and then you start to work your way down, as I said, to the 3.6 to the 3.5 number.
From Seattle. Jeez, I thought Seattle's offense was better than that.
Yeah, I think it was probably earlier on where they maybe struggled a little bit. So he's in situations where he has to let it rip, but that's kind of gives you a bit of an indication. So as I said, 60 punts, 3,500, or below is probably about right. So yeah, basically. Big year for Tory. Big year for the Tory.
Big year for the Bears. And there's Pete Carroll who's been linked to the Bears.
Oh, yes.
Yeah,
there's been a few people being linked. How about them asking for a request Mike McCarthy?
Yeah.
Wow.
And Dallas, and I think your man
immediately basically said
your man said, no, let him stay. What's his name? Your man was like, no, let him stay.
PG, Brendan Graham. No, let him stay, man. We won't beat his ass again. We'll let him win. Yeah, no, that was awesome. Love that. Love that.
Mate, love this stat that you sent through. This stat is crazy. Buccaneers fans, listen to this, and Washington fans, this is scary, but maybe you break it this week. Sip sent this one through. So this stat is crazy. In the past 5 games, the Bucs defense have only allowed a total of 9 points in the second half, 3 field goals. Say what you want about Todd Bowles and the defense, but they adjust well at halftime.
Without a doubt.
You want to be up by a lot at halftime.
Well, you'd want to be up by a bit.
That's crazy numbers.
Yeah.
5 games, 9 points.
Yeah, it's impressive stuff. Yeah, and I know, okay, granted, maybe there's a couple in there that
played the Saints
whatever,
last week,
but I don't know. They still put up numbers on them earlier. I think they dropped what? They dropped 16 on them in the first half. So I just think that needs to be taken into consideration a little bit. They find ways to adjust very, very well, and their offense is still highly powered, and it gets themselves into games. And if you're not in front at halftime, well, good luck. You're gonna find it hard.
We've got some other graphics here, year-to-year records, but I think the main ones will just stand out here. We'll just go through the overachievers and the underachievers. But Washington, plus 8 wins.
Yeah, massive.
They went 4-13 this year, 12-5.
Yep.
And then Dallas, they went 12-5 to 7-10, minus 5.
Yep.
I think that's the main one there from the NFC.
Yep.
Oh, probably San Fran as well. They were minus 6.
Yep.
They were 12-5 and 6-11. Clearly a lot of injuries, but a lot of dramas.
Mm-hmm.
Then on the other side of the ball, I think the Jets and the Dolphins, look, it's not a massive one, 11-6 for the Dolphins to 8-9, and Jets 7-10 to 5-12. But really disappointing years.
Yep.
Ravens went -1, 13-4 to 12-5. But I think the interesting ones here is, the Browns terrible, 11-6 to 3-14. That is so bad. Minus 8 off last year. Yeah. And I think, as expected, the Raiders 8-9 to 4-13. But some really bad performances from probably some teams. I've probably left the Jags out. They were 9-8. They went 4-13. Like some really terrible performances. And it'd be frustrating. I reckon if you're a Browns fan, a Jets fan, Dolphins fan, maybe to an extent a Jags fan, you'd be flat.
I'd be interested to see what the stat is for how many teams with double, with 10 or more losses. Because I reckon it was a huge amount this year compared to previous years.
10-point losses?
Yeah, no, 10 plus losses this year. So, I'd be interested in that stat to see, I don't think I've seen as many teams with
no, you're correct.
10 or more losses.
No, you're correct.
It's unbelievable. Amount of teams that hadn't been able to win 7 or more games or 8 or more games. I don't think I've seen before.
You can name them here if you want.
Yeah, there's been so many. I'd be interested to see from previous years what it's been like, but I just couldn't recall
No, I
like,
think I saw a
that many
graphic that we haven't
teams,
seen
like,
that many
being-
teams go like 12, 12 plus.
Yeah.
It's been a real dominant
It's been
year.
unbelievable. So first time in a little while, I think that's probably been. And granted, injuries and all that kind of take part, but also just some bad teams.
Steelers last year, 10-7. What do you think they did this year?
10-7.
Yep.
Yeah.
Every year, 10-7.
Yeah.
And nowhere. The Bengals are 9-8 last year. I mean, there's a couple more here I'm going to
Yeah.
read out, but the Titans, they went 3-14, then
Yeah.
-3. They were
Number
6-11. And the Chiefs, this is what's interesting. The Chiefs were unreal last year, 11-6. This year, 15-2. You could probably wipe last week because it was they rested.
No, yeah.
And I saw some bloke that's in the media. I won't read his name out because I can't remember it, but he gave him a B. I'm like, or a B plus.
Yeah.
I'm like, how the
I
fuck
saw that.
do you give him a like?
I saw
It's
that.
got to be the A plus.
You
of
basically would be a 16-1 team, and you've given them a B.
How do you-
Why? Because they've scored 3 less points per game
I
or
mean,
whatever.
give me a spell.
Defense has given up nothing. They're an A at a bare minimum.
Speaking
Far
of
out.
Mahomes, this is my last graphic I think I got for you. But Patrick Mahomes has more playoff wins than each of these teams have all time. The Texans, the Cardinals, the Jags, the who else we got here? The Panthers, the Bengals, the
Chargers
Falcons, the
being
Saints, the Lions,
That's
the Bucks,
incredible.
the Jets, the Browns, and the Chargers. He has more playoff wins than all of those franchises.
It's unbelievable. Good.
Huh?
I mean, that is a unbelievable stat. Yeah,
It is.
so good.
I think that's all I've got for you from this. Oh, there's a couple more here. I mean, I'll actually post these, the longest active
Yeah.
Super Bowl droughts. But the biggest one there, the Cardinals, 76, Lions, 66. If I go down from the top, right, I think the ones that are around, so Lions and Vikings, 66, 63. And then you go to the Bills, 58, Chargers, 58. So they're the teams I would love to see,
Yeah,
really. And then the
yeah.
Ravens.
That's why I'm. Baltimore, obviously. I mean, not Baltimore. Sorry, like Detroit would be pretty cool in
Yeah.
that aspect. But yeah,
Last graphic for everyone, but the NFL draft picks are set. The Titans have pick 1, the
Yep.
Browns 2, Giants 3, Patriots 4, head coach sacked as well for winning last week. Jags 5, Raiders 6, Jets 7, Panthers 8, and the Saints 9, Bears 10. I'll stop there. So interesting. Titans pick 1. Do you take a quarterback? I'll move on after this question.
yeah, you do.
You do?
Yeah.
So Levis is cooked.
Yeah.
You don't trade for one?
No.
Like it?
No.
Interesting stuff.
Draft one.
All right, let's go to the Aces, and we're going to get stuck in a wild card now. Listen, guys, it's going to be fun. Have I done some research for this? All our stuff's up, I think, because there's less games. Everyone's put up a few more graphics. The media is starting to get more buzzier, and there's a lot of gems this week. And I've got a little gem for you. I'm going to release.
Do ya?
This. Yeah, I've
Okay.
got someone that I've been. If we can get a market on him, it'll be interesting. But let's start off now. I'm going to steal a couple of these Aces hot takes. I'll find out who wrote these in, but. One of the Aces wrote in, and I'll get the name in a second, but I've wrote it down on my run sheet here. Who is the number 1 pick in next year's fantasy draft? Sip.
Gibbs.
Jimmy Gibbs. You're not scared that Monty will take some workload?
Nah, I still think I think he can be the number 1 pick. Yeah.
Jamar Chase?
1 and 2.
Honestly, I love it. I think it's very good.
Gibbs or Chase. Yeah,
Bijan?
I like it. Not 1. I wouldn't take him at 1.
5?
Yeah. He wouldn't be any higher than 5.
What about one of these superstar running backs coming into the league
Nah.
if they go to Dallas?
Nah. No, I wouldn't do it just yet.
What if Tyreek Hill goes to Dallas? CD Lamb? Do you reckon CD wants Tyreek Hill there?
Yeah. It would open up the game so much.
Where
for
does
him.
Christian
Jeez.
McCaffrey go next year?
Oh.
What round? I'll give it
He's
to
still
you.
a first round pick.
Is he?
Yeah, I
No
reckon.
way.
It'd be unbelievable.
You wouldn't. You know what? Funny.
I'm not taking him, but people would take
You know
him
what?
still first and go, that's a steal if they got him at like 10 or 11.
Justin
Brees Hall's not going to be in the first round.
I'll tell you who else won't be. ETN.
Yeah, jeez, stiff.
What about Brocky Bowers? Does he go?
He could be like the new Kelsey. In all honesty,
Does he go 12?
he could be first round.
Because
He
we
could
know
be first
tight ends
round.
are hard to find.
I know they are. Like him and Kittle with what they did this year would be pretty close, I reckon. Yeah,
Saquon, what pick does he go?
he probably goes inside the 5, inside top 5.
Derrick Henry, last one.
7, within 7.
Gonna be fun. And what about
Jamar Chase, Gibbs, Saquon, Bijan,
JJ?
JJ, Henry.
It's good stuff. You know, I was thinking about this the other day because I went through all our predictions, and remember everyone was scared to draft Jefferson at pick 9.
Yeah.
And he's definitely been worth that. But
Yeah.
amazing how.
Yeah.
I mean, that was
It's
because of
amazing.
Sam Darnold.
100%.
So now that we can see
The
Darnold
unknown.
can win, it's fine.
Without a doubt.
All right, let's get into the Aces hot takes. There's one more there. Should Fields start over Russ?
No.
Too late?
Yep.
Why?
I know they've been struggling, but Russ is still a proven winner in playoffs. He's won a Super Bowl, and he's been there a couple of times. I just think that you still stick with him and you go with the guy that's got the experience. That's my personal opinion.
Yeah, I agree. And man, H wrote that one in. And a shout out to Shawnee Riley 14, who wrote in Gibbs #1 fantasy pick next year. A lot of hype here for Bo Nix from Tyler Hinbrain. If the Bengals made playoffs, I'd have them as my top 2 from D Hunt. A couple more here. O'Connor, where is a good landing spot for Tyreek? Chargers or Buffalo need a wide receiver 1? We didn't speak about Buffalo.
Yeah, Buffalo wouldn't be a bad one.
Too cold for
either.
Tyreek?
Well, yeah,
Coming from
probably.
Miami?
Yeah, probably.
Is the NFC a 2-horse race between the Lions and Eagles now? Green Bay and Minnesota colours lowered.
Yeah, I agree.
I think so as well.
Yeah.
That's very good by our man O'Connor.
Yeah.
Dallas need to move on from Dak. Go big if they want a chance from Zero back.
Nah, probably not.
Too hard. They've already paid him.
Yeah.
Dan Campbell's comments to O'Connor will get the Rams fired up to beat both teams. Scotty Price.
Great call. As mentioned, great call.
Burrow MVP. So many people love Burrow for
love
MVP. I
Yeah.
mean, stiff that he isn't. Just on the MVP. Who was it? Someone made a real strong take, but I'm pretty sure Lamar's beaten Josh this year. Is that correct?
I don't know if they've played each other.
Or the last time they played each other,
Last time they played each other, Lamar
Someone said he's
Lamar
3-0
beat him.
against
Yeah, last time they played, I don't think he's
Joe
lost.
and
Yeah,
Josh.
yeah.
That was my take, sorry.
Yeah, no, they haven't played each other this year.
That
but
sucks
yeah.
they haven't, because I reckon that would have almost been the decider.
Mm.
It's going to be fun. It's going to be, mate. It's
They'll
going to
play
be.
each other in the playoffs.
So if he beats, so I know the awards should be done now, but it's not. If he beats Josh Allen in the playoffs, do you reckon they'll give it to Lamar?
Yep.
If it's really tight, Allen gets it regardless of result.
I've kind of swayed a little bit that maybe Lamar should win it anyway.
But because Josh didn't play last week, the numbers are skewed a little bit.
They are skewed.
Like I was
They
thinking,
are.
you can't give the total touchdowns.
You can't.
Because he could have got 4 against the
Yeah.
Pats.
Yeah, you're right.
Benny Mack, 98. Incentives punting was very nice this week. Thanks,
We'll
Benny.
take that.
We thought we put a lot of work into that,
Yeah,
and that
we
was
did.
actually a lot of used sips, so well done. And Corey Warboyers, I think your name is anyway, Pickens will be traded this offseason.
Ugh. I wouldn't put it out of the question. He's a bad locker room guy. They have trouble with him.
They have trouble with everyone,
I
man.
know.
How many receivers have they, honestly?
Yeah, well, Brown.
But Juju, Chase,
Yeah.
Claypool,
Yeah.
Antonio Brown, Pickens.
Yeah.
Why can't they draft someone just straight,
Yeah.
like a Cooper Cup
Mm.
or just a workhorse?
Yeah.
You know what I
No.
mean? Like Cortland Sutton doesn't look like an issue.
Nah. Yeah, you're right. George Pickens has been an issue from college. Yeah.
And Texans and Packers win first round. Some QBs are just built for finals from Hayden Shade. Look, I'm not, you know what? These questions are great, but we need to move on because we're going to answer them right now. But one more from Daniel Bean. My hot take, no such thing as a jinx. Pulled out the tipping win. I'm happy with that. Danny, boy, there's still 4 or 5 weeks to go. He's gone early, old Danny.
He's gone early.
And he's talking about the jinx.
Wow.
What's your thoughts?
Talk about that. You might have done it now, boy.
All right. It's wildcard weekend, ladies and gentlemen. Let's get stuck right into it. Powered by PointsBet, of course, right behind me.
Love
How
it.
good is that helmet?
Beautiful. Jeez, that's nice.
Jeez, have we got some research for this week?
Wow.
Wow.
Tommy has gone hard here, and it's been excellent work.
Righto,
so
Sid.
let's get into it.
As we always do, mate. You kick us off and I'll tell you what I've got.
It is wild card week. It's finally here. Jeez, I'm super pumped by it. Let's get into it. We have the Chargers at Houston. Whew.
Sunday, Australian Eastern Standard Time, 8 a.m.
8:30.
8:30. Ooh, nice.
Perfect time to wake up, get a coffee, bang, get back on the couch and away you go.
None of this 5
And if you're
a.m.
in Tommy's fortunate situation, you know, you get a little couple special treatment there and maybe book the cinema at the place, mate. There you go.
Yeah, the apartment building has a cinema. You can come around Sunday,
I
actually.
might have to. Excellent stuff there. What a big game to start off with. Oh, this is, I mean, all of them are obviously big. That's why they're all in it. But I think Chargers are favourite for a reason. They're the better team right now. They're in better form. I don't know. I'm questioning now Houston's offense. When you lose Stefan Diggs already, and he was a vital part to their offense. I'm not saying his numbers were massive or anything, but he was a vital part to that offense. Anytime they needed something, CJ knew that he could get to him, and their offense looked really good. But now that they've lost Tank Dell, I just find it hard that they're going to be able to get it done against a team that's right now ranked number 1 in the league for defense in terms of points given up. And I understand what Nico Collins can do. He's a special talent. They'll always try and get him the ball and find him the ball. But right now, Chargers are just playing a different game right now. Defense is on fire. Offense found their way. McConkey it was massive last week, and Johnson was even bigger. And I just think that right now Herbert's in great touch. And I think they go in there and they steamroll them. I think they get the job done.
In the dome as well. It's nice.
In the dome, nice. Either way, they were going to play in the dome and that, but it's just it's set up perfectly. And I just think Houston right now they're not going in there with a rich vein of form right now, and it's similar to probably what the Steelers have been. They're just not. They're not there yet. They're not there.
It's going to be. I think it'll be closer than we think.
Yeah. I think it's close. I just think, I've
got a little dark horse here.
Yeah.
I'll go through my main stats.
Yeah, I like it.
To start. So, for everyone out there, Herbert's, I think, 2 passing touchdowns is a great bet.
Yeah.
The Texans have given up the 6th fewest passing yards, right? 220 in the air. They're actually quite good defensively.
They are.
But they've given up the 3rd most passing touchdowns, 1.9 to the position. That's average.
Yeah.
And if I go through Herbert's last 5 weeks, I'm positive that he has thrown 2 or 3 every week.
Yeah.
And I reckon they're not bad against the run, the Texans.
Yeah.
So on the goal line, J.K. Dobbins, he looks okay.
So red zone defense basically is what's been struggling for the Texans.
Yeah.
Ultimately.
And they've got options everywhere. You've got the lad, you've got Johnson,
Even Will Disley's been getting involved for tight end wise and stuff.
Even DJ Chalk's getting a run.
That's true.
I don't know what Palmer was doing. He must be injured. But so that's a nice little bet there. And you get some good odds for 2 passing touchdowns. And the other one, Nico Collins is pretty much their only receiver.
100%.
And Jacoby Myers lit the Chargers up in the same posse. He went for 9, 123 and 1 touchdown last week. So I just think if they're playing from behind, I got this vision of last year. Remember when Nico Collins' first play, 78-yard touchdown, first play down the gut?
Yeah.
They're going to have to be aggressive.
They have to be aggressive.
They have to be aggressive. I think I'd love this game to be, the opposite of what we think. A bit like the Lions and Minnesota. We thought it'd be offensive. It was the opposite. Well, he's got talks about being defensive. But if you watch the last few weeks, the Chargers have allowed a bit more points and they've scored really well. Herbert's been MVP. His last five games
absolutely
is exactly what we thought he'd be like all year. But they've been running it at the start of the year. Now they're slinging it. And some of the throws he can make, world class. He's a top 5 quarterback.
He's a star. He's an absolute star. I'm so glad they've been able to just open up the playbook for him and just let it go.
The smoky I've got here, because I was literally doing research for this going, if Nico Collins gets stopped and Mixon, and they stop Mixon early, so they have to throw it, this is going to get ugly for the Texans. But there's a guy called Deontay Johnson who I think if you know NFL, he is a very good wide receiver. And he's had a tough year, but he ain't getting traded to the Carolina Panthers at the start of the year, being their number 1 receiver for no reason, and then a few issues at the Ravens. But if you look into some reports, the coaches are really happy with him.
Yeah.
They have no Tank Dell.
None. Gone.
They have no Stephon Diggs. And Schultz and Mechie, they're not going to cut it. They need something else. And as a slot receiver, I don't think the routes are going to change that much. And Stroud can throw the ball. I know he's had a tough year, but if you can get a marker for Deontay Johnson, just for some yards, playing from behind maybe.
Yeah.
I don't know if you can get it. You might have to call up PointsBet and request it. We might have to do that.
We might have to.
But I just think it'd be nice if it's the Ravens now that Flowers is out, but a few issues there, obviously.
Yeah.
So, just keep your eye on that.
Not bad. I don't mind it.
For me, I don't. I just can't trust the Texans.
And I know we're talking about obviously offensive players and stuff like that, but ultimately it comes down. This is going to come down to line of scrimmage. Can the Texans O-line hold up against the Chargers' D-line to allow Stroud to obviously do what you said and get some offensive flying around everywhere to be able to do it. And that's what it comes down to. I hope they do because they're gonna need to give themselves a shot.
One of the things I remember earlier was Bosa's a bit banged up, and if you can get out of the pocket,
you still got Khalil Mack too.
I know, but if you can get out of the pocket on his side and just open the play up a little bit, it'll buy a little bit of time.
Good then.
But if he sits in that pocket, it's going to get ugly. He's been sacked all year. And
O-line's been so weak.
And if Mixon doesn't establish the run early, that's when it's going to get hard because you don't have all play action and all the rest of it. So, look, I'm going to go with Chargers, but just.
Yeah, I'm going with the Chargers as well. Everything that you've said there, I think's spot on, and cracking game to be able to start off the playoff run, which is good.
Confidence level on that though, for me, I'm honestly sitting at a 5 out of 10. I'm not sitting here going, this could go either way.
It could, for sure.
But if you go off, I actually don't have any emotion in this. I'm happy for both teams to go through.
Yep.
But I think also head coach of the Chargers, his brother, head coach of the Ravens, smacked the Texans. And I don't know if they chat. I'd imagine they do.
Yeah.
But there's a few secrets I reckon they're getting it traded around. They're probably going, I know what you did. I'm going to do the same thing.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Great point. Love it. Next one. Huge. Pittsburgh, Baltimore.
Oh, this game. My stomach hurts thinking about this. I've honestly had the runs all week and I've run out of toilet paper. So, Sip, you know what I've done? Sip, I've brought my own toilet paper in. I've brought my own toilet paper in, mate, so I can wipe my ass. Hey, what a horrific football side this team is, hey?
Geez.
The Steelers, they are huge. Hey, they don't even deserve to be wiped.
Wow. Gee, that is awesome.
What are we wasting our time
Great
here?
stuff.
This is all over. The Ravens by 20.
Full of confidence, old Tommy boy.
I'm not. They do my head in the Steelers.
They do.
This will come down to the last playoffs. So yeah, they'll hang around.
It might be a drive that the Baltimore Ravens need to do to get this job done.
I won't be here next week if we lose this one. I'll give you the tip.
Wow. You heard it here first.
You saw the bet I had with me, mate.
I did.
I've got Rockpool on the line.
Yes, you do.
By the way, over under for Aces. What are your thoughts? The Ravens to win 2 games in the postseason.
Yeah, I like it.
I've taken the over. Rockpool on this with me, mate Geimer.
Yeah.
Surely.
Geimer went under. And he was very, very confident that he was going
No, you know why? Because he hates Lamar
Yeah.
and he thinks he's not made of it.
Yeah.
And his stats prove that.
Yeah.
He's only had 2 playoff wins.
That's right.
He's going to have to go through Josh Allen next
He
week.
is. Yeah. Interesting.
Well, if they win.
Big matchup, though, this one. Like, Pickens didn't play last time. Obviously, with the way that the Ravens have been playing right now, they go in as red-hot favourites, which so they should, playing at home. Steelers now lost 4 in a row. They're pushing shit uphill a little bit, to be honest, the Steelers.
That's really struggling.
But that's the thing, is that and their defense has dropped off. Their defense has dropped off. I know. Especially the man's jersey too. I mean, geez, he's a star.
Carry on.
He's only a Hall of Famer, mate.
Not even. It's more the logo.
Just do it from the front next time, mate. But their defense hasn't really stopped much either over the last few weeks, and that's probably that is what they call Steelers football: is pound the rock and stop everything. And they haven't been able to get it done over the last few weeks. And you're coming up against arguably the best running combination in the league. And I think it's going to be a tough day for the old Steelers. Do they put in Fields? I don't know. Me personally, I don't think that they do. I just think you got to stick with Russell because he's got that experience behind him. George Pickens needs to find something after last week. And maybe it's the game that he needs to get into after what happened last week. But it's the Ravens should be home and hosed, to be honest. Honestly, that's how it should be.
They're the most favoured this week.
I think that they are, and so they should be. After what they've been able to do to teams, particularly playoff teams, they should be able to get it done. But it's on you now. What do you want?
I've just got stats.
Yeah.
I'm quietly confident the Ravens can hold on.
You've got a cheeky little smirk over there.
No, I do. I must say, Flowers going out is annoying.
If Flowers is definitely out.
Nah, not definitely.
Yeah, if he doesn't play though, that is. But big.
I watched it. It looked like bone bruising. I don't think it was. It wasn't. It didn't look like ligaments and all that.
Okay. So hopefully he does. But if he is out, that certainly doesn't help because he's your best wide receiver. But yeah.
Okay, some quick stats here. Pickens, when he did play, 89 yards,
Yep.
8 receptions of 12 targets in week 11. Ravens have changed their defense since then.
Massively.
So I'm just going to
Such a
read that out,
difference.
and I probably won't touch him because his line's too high.
Yeah.
But the ones that I've got, I think these are really good props. So Frymouth, Baltimore gives up the 9th most receiving yards, 56.6 on average to the position, and 10th most receptions, 5.5. I think last time they played, he had 5 and 37 and was quiet,
Yep.
like quiet.
Yeah.
But still 5 catches,
Yeah.
so you can get a receptions line. So
Yep.
probably take that. Playing from behind is the assumption.
Yep.
And then Warren, I reckon Najee got banged up late
Yeah.
last week, and Ravens allow the 4th fewest
He was
rushing
nowhere
yards.
to be seen.
But he's been nowhere to be seen for that
I
long.
know. No.
And maybe it's offensive line. I
So
don't know.
say that again. Sorry for Warren. Say that again. Sorry for Warren.
The Ravens allow the 4th fewest rushing yards, but they allow the 4th most receiving yards
Yeah.
to the position, an average of 39.6. He's a really good back. I like Warren. Like
Yeah,
I
I do
would
too.
play him above Najee, but they're yin and yang. It's a different back. It's a bit like Monty and Gibbs.
It
One's
is.
a power and one's speed. But I just think that Warren and Frymouth might be that one where, Russ does have to get something going. He might have to just dump a few off and whatnot. And, Roquan seems to be waiting for them. But if he does break a line, I really rate
He
Warren.
can. I do too. I do too. Absolutely.
And then on the
Yeah.
Ravens side, Steelers give it the most receiving yards and the 7th most receiving touchdowns to receivers aligned out wide. An average of 124.1 and 13 tuds. So that's Bateman.
Yeah.
And
That's Bateman written all over.
and Bateman,
Absolutely.
is it Bateman without Flowers? I don't know.
Yeah.
But it is Bateman, and Bateman has been the guy.
Yeah.
So look for him. He might get a deep ball. And likely is the other one. He's lodged 3 of his 6 best route shares in the last 3 games. And he could stay a little bit more active if Flowers is
Yeah.
out. So he'll be on the field more.
Yeah.
And I think he's a real touchdown beast. So
He
is
is.
Andrews.
But
has scored.
Andrews has scored 6 in a row, like 6 in a row
I
now.
think
Scored a
this week I'm
touchdown
gonna stay
6
away
weeks
from
in
him.
a row. But yeah.
I think you got to think. I mean, he was wide open the last couple of
Yeah.
weeks. I'm thinking, how do you leave him open? I
Yeah.
guess there's Lamar, there's Derek. There's a lot to stop.
there's a lot.
And then when it comes to Derrick Henry, I didn't write any notes because
Yeah.
it's just like you just got to back him in.
Yeah.
He's just gonna be a bull, and
Yeah.
he's gonna be annoying, and he'll break him
He will
eventually.
pound the rock.
Yeah. So you know what? It's you just go either way with that.
Yeah.
But they're just the stats. I expect the Ravens. I just hope the Ravens establish a lead
Yeah.
early because the last time we played them, there was a moment there, if you
Well, you
remember,
had
where
to work.
Russell actually rushed a 26-yarder, and he got one of the safeties just hit him hard and he fumbled. And, mate, if they score there, I'm pretty sure they go up 7 and
That's
we're on
right.
the back foot.
You are.
And then that game changed after
right.
that. So,
That's right.
we need to start well. But,
Yeah, you do.
yeah.
Just establish the run early. Give them a few things I haven't been able to see before. And I just think that playing from in front and you get to control the game. Grind their defense out. They've struggled for the last month. Grind them. Play time, have it all in your offensive favor, and you just slowly grind that Pittsburgh defense down. They won't be able to hold up for the whole time.
And it's a bit of a sneaky one, but I like to pretend I'm an offensive coordinator. But I reckon Lamar will hold onto the ball and he'll run it to the corner and he'll score a rushing touchdown this week. I've seen him do it on a 2-point conversion, and it's a little bit of one of those plays where you're like, we'll save it.
Yeah.
Just think he loves to run on the big
Yeah,
games.
he does.
And when you got Flowers out, I'd expect him to run it a little bit more. So it's a little bit of a my special this week.
Love it.
But
Excellent,
that's all I've got.
excellent. Good
Ravens
work.
get it done.
Yep. Love it. Moving on.
I'll be crying if they lose. I'll actually
I
cry
know you will. You're not here next week, so
because
I've
I
got to
don't
figure
think
it out.
that division ain't going to get any easier.
I've got to figure it out. So
I think Job's around.
yeah,
He's a Raiders
We'll get
fan
him.
though. He might not want to talk
Yeah,
football.
no, he's probably out for the year. Oh.
All right, it's your man, Bo Nix.
Oh, wow. Here we
All
go.
right.
What do you got for me?
Well,
Here
if
we go.
Bo
That's
Nix
what I heard.
beats the Bills
Yeah.
and Josh Allen,
Yeah.
you need to wear a Broncos top next week, and you're going to look down at camera, and we're going to send the video directly to Bo because you should have some contacts to him from college.
I do. I think I still got his
And we're
personal
going
number,
to
so I'll
get
probably just I'll
Brado and
probably have to
Harrow,
do it.
and we're going to get him to clip
Fair
up
enough.
all the shit you've been saying about
Fair
him all
enough.
year.
Gee, I feel confident though. Highly likely I don't have to do
I
that.
reckon if there was one matchup the Bills don't want, it's this Broncos defense, big boy.
You wish, pal. Watch this. Watch Josh Allen have fun and toy with this
What
little
do you got
mob,
for me, Sid?
hey? Well, I just think that the Bills just simply get it done at home. It's going to be unreal. It's going to be fantastic. That's how it wheels. No, I mean, Josh Allen, MVP caliber. I mean, if you don't stop him being able to pass the ball, he's going to use his legs and get it done. It's as simple as that. I just think that he's made for this stuff, and the Bills have surprised everyone, and it continues. Number 2 seed, beating the Chiefs earlier in the year. I just think that they're just going to be too good in the end. And, all well and good. Great year. Great, honestly. Has been a great year from Bo. It has been. Come in as a rookie quarterback and you get your team to a playoff. Mate, it's an incredible effort, but I just think it stops here. Simple as that. I just think that the Bills are too good. They're freshened up. They're ready to go now. All well and good, right, that you can maybe stop a couple of their guys on the outside, but when you have to deal with James Cook and Josh Allen from the running game, like, good luck to you. And they haven't been able to stop the run like massively well, I'd say, throughout the year. Yep, the passing game's been really solid for them, but I just think it's just going to be a Josh Allen day. As you mentioned here, Broncos give up the 7th most passing yards to almost 240 per game. Joe Burrow a couple of weeks ago against them, 412, 3 passing. Herbert, 284 and 2 passing. And Josh Allen is on a different level right now, and that's where I see it really taking place.
Like it. I always think back to these rookie quarterbacks when they meet a pretty good defense. They've been pretty good all year, but there's levels to this stuff, and I reckon they'll be competitive.
I think, yeah.
But it's at the Bills, different weather.
Yeah.
One of the guys that stand out for me, I agree with you, mate. I think the Bills will win. I think Shakir, he's an absolute just green light. Denver gives up the 8th most receiving yards and 7th most receptions to receivers aligned in the slot.
Let's make sure we remember it's the slot, not out wide.
No, yes. And because Patrick Surtain will be putting, well, it seems to be Coleman, because I don't know where the rest have gone.
Well, I don't know where Cooper is. Cooper hasn't even been at practice.
Yeah, is that right?
Yeah, personal leave or some personal reasons right now, and he hasn't even been at practice. So
That's
not too
concern.
sure. Yeah, we're not too sure about that right now. But you also look at it and go, well, he hasn't really been there for the last month. And I know he's been out there, but he hasn't really been there. And
well, Kincaid,
Bill's been okay. But
Kincaid and Knox have been around for a long time, and they've been pretty quiet this year.
Shakir's been good. Been pretty solid.
Mac Hollins is there.
Mac Hollins
he got his little 100. I think it was 150 grand for his 600 yards.
Good on him. So it's good. Yeah.
You've seen his Instagram page, by the way.
No, I haven't.
He does Max hacks.
Yeah, right.
He does these life hacks, and it's really unique stuff.
Yeah, right. He's a unique character.
Oh yeah,
he was out here earlier in the year. Actually, came and visited Hawthorn, and he's a different man.
That's awesome. It's a real weird one. But my chiropractor when I was 18, he was his personal, I think, chiropractor physio there at the start of his career. Okay. The old man mentioned his name. He used to be at the Raiders, I reckon.
Yeah, he was at the Raiders. He won a Super Bowl with the Eagles his first year. Yeah, got drafted by the Eagles and won with the Eagles. Then went to the Raiders for a bit, and then he's kind of hopped around.
He'd be an interesting story to follow. Like he's, people just.
But he comes out here every year because those same guys. I think he's still.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
There you go. Maybe that's why. Anyway, so he'll be interesting. He's, he always pops up for a tutty.
He does.
But I've got my eyes on Shakir, and then if I go back to some notes I've got for you, the Bills have allowed quarterbacks to account for multiple touchdowns in 8 of their last 9 games. That's pretty strong data there for Bo Nix. And Sutton, it says that you should take him under. They allow the 5th fewest receiving yards to the position, but they do allow the 8th most receiving touchdowns to the position with wide receivers out wide. So interesting. Stats aside, I've been watching a lot of football. Mims stands out like dog's balls.
Yep.
And Shakir in the slot should get it done, but you're right. When you got Josh Allen there, I'd imagine he'll just bulldoze his way over for a couple of tuds, and they'll get it done at home.
I think so too. Yeah, excellent. Next one. This is big.
This is really exciting, and I reckon this can be one-sided.
This is big.
You read it out because it's your team.
I love it. It's the Packers against the Eagles, and I think I agree with you. I think it could be genuinely one-sided. Now my boys over at Any Given Sunday.
Hang on, they haven't got another bet, have they?
He's got a big bet on me with now, and he's a Packers man, and you know where I am, and he's called me out. Let's just say that. He's called me out.
Hang on, he hasn't
message,
got... I'm actually
saying,
wearing the jersey he gave the great
You want to put something on here? I said, mate, I'm glad. I'll take another jersey for free. Don't worry about that. Tommy still needs to get me my one. And,
do you know what you said?
Now you can too, pal. So, you know what? But if I lose... Well, Tommy can take what I've got and give it to you, so I'm all good anyway.
So I'm getting rolled either way. I mean, Sid hasn't sent me this link because he knew this was coming. Hey, I'm happy either way.
Hey, no, I'm good. I'll take 2 jerseys and I'll have a bit of fun with it because I think we are going to smoke your ass. That is it.
And hang on, Any Given Sunday, boys, have they got the line at least or not?
No, mate, they don't have the line. He reckons he's confident.
He must be loaded.
When you've just lost Watson, I tell you what.
I think the quarterback's done. He's got the old tennis elbow, doesn't he?
He was like this already. He couldn't actually. really, he was like Scary Movie 2 with the guy
wow.
kicking out the potato.
Jordan Love has not been in good form.
He's been struggling.
My quarterback of fantasy, he nearly cost me. He was the only position that really went backwards.
He was. It's been very, very interesting couple of weeks for him, and I know they played each other week one, but you can take that
in Brazil,
and as much as you like, and that these teams are so different now compared to what it was week one, and when you're just trying to establish yourself a little bit. But this could be a blowout. In all honesty, it could be a blowout. The thing that keeps Green Bay alive is their run game, but you are coming up against arguably the best D-line in the league right now. They have been able to stop basically everything. And it's going to be a tough day. If you can't establish a run there and you got Jordan in the form that he's in right now, it could be a very, very long day. We're still not sure about what's happening with Jalen, in all honesty. He actually is still in concussion protocol right now, so we're not too sure.
He'll play.
I reckon in the next coming days you'll see that there's a practice window and he'll be fine to go. But I just think they're just too dangerous. You lose Watson as one of your key wide receivers, and that hurts big time. You got great corners over there that have been doing a really good job. You're relying on other guys that haven't had as much of the football. Maybe Reed, it may be the other option.
Yeah.
But when you lose one of those guys there, it's going to be super hard. And on the other side, when you've got the offensive power that the Philadelphia Eagles has with no Alexander, well, I just feel like it's just going to be a really tough ask. The Eagles have played against Xavier McKinney for a while. He was at the Giants for many years. They know how he plays and his style and that. Yeah, he's had lots of, I think he's the second in terms of interceptions this year, I think with 7, but they know how he plays and they know the ways that are vulnerable for him to be able to get the job done. And A.J. Brown with Devontae Smith and Goddard's back and, of course, the main man Barkley. And that's all there is to it. He's been on absolute fire. We got the record, but that's for another thing. And I just think that the Eagles are going to be too good basically when it's all said and done, my friend.
Love it. I totally agree with you. I think any given Sunday, boys, they're in trouble. I think they're in trouble. And I'd be disappointed if the Eagles lost because I can see them going deep and I love watching them. I love watching them. They put up points.
Yep.
Mate, a few notes for me. I've got a really, I think a couple of stats that stand out, but they give up the third most receiving yards to the position.
Yeah.
Saquon Barkley, I reckon he caught a touchdown week one.
Yeah, he did. Week one, he caught a touchdown.
Yeah,
Yep,
so that's an interesting one.
Yep.
So receiving yards is something that Saquon, he's more of a rushing man, but just the line's not that big for his receiving line sometimes. So that's an interesting one that stands out. And the other one was Devontae Smith. The Packers give up the 11th most receiving yards and 5th most receptions. The receivers aligned in the slot. Yep. He went for 84 and 8 targets against them in week one. But like you said, Green Bay do have a good defense, but Smith's that one that's back now. If you look at his last month, he's been stacking them up.
Yeah, he has.
And A.J. Brown, as we know, sometimes they take the defense away with them and they open it up. And I can see play action to Smith. So I really like Smith in this matchup as well as I like, all of them. But look, on the other side of the ball, the guy that stands out to me, it's got to be Dobbs and Wicks. I know Reed's there, but he's been, if you speak to anyone that has him in fantasy, they'll know that he's been missing for 10 weeks.
Oh, yeah.
He'll have 1 week in 10, but he started the season off so well.
Yeah.
He could dominate, but the thing that concerns me about Reed, and as you know, what happens when a player goes for 138 yards and a touchdown against you last time?
Yeah.
You put a bit more effort in, don't you? I just don't know if they're going to allow that again. And I remember it was
week one.
And he also had a 33-yard rushing touchdown. So it's like, stop the jet sweep, stop Reed if he goes deep. I reckon they're going to do. So the guy I've got my eyes on is Wicks. He's a bit of a dangerous player, but Dobbs is their main guy. The more I think about it, it's like when Watson's there, you don't know what Dobbs, he was sat out last week with illness. Wouldn't surprise me if he was half sick, half resting. But he's the guy that I'd be interested to see. Now, we don't know who, they've got a very good corner at Philly. So that's why I don't mind Wicks, but I'm going to take Green Bay aside here. I'm probably just going to focus on Philly. And I really like Devontae Smith in the air and,
good point.
and Saquon to finish it off. And as you know, Jalen Hurts, he'll steal the touchdown if they get to the 1 or the 2.
He will.
Let's hope, I don't know. When you go touchdowns, you're probably better off going Jalen and Saquon, but it's going to be fun.
Yeah, it'll be fun.
And when you see the Bears beat them last week,
I
know they had a few out, but it's not good form.
No, it's not. It's not great form.
And I'm surprised. You know what? Let's not skip over that, but I'm positive if they win that, they don't play the Eagles. Is that correct?
Who's that?
The Green Bay Packers? I thought
If they win that game, they finish at 6
and they play
the Bucks.
I can't believe they lost that.
That's what I'm saying. Like there was actually a bit on the line for
I know,
them. Like
and
you can completely change your.
But Jordan Love come out of the
trajectory
game
if you get that. If you win that game,
exactly, and the fact that Jordan come out of the game, I reckon he might be a bit more banged up than we think.
I think so. Like, did you honestly see his hand though? Like, so they've gone elbow injury, so ulnar area, and his hand was literally like that. So these three were like going normal, and they were literally like that. He couldn't like straighten them or anything.
I haven't seen that
at all. There's a little clip of it, him showing it, and they're already like bent because of like some nerve damage or something that's happened. In the elbow. So it will be interesting. They're saying that he should be fine. But that's the reason why he had to come out of the game. So, yep, Malik Willis goes in and it changes things for you. But I just still thought that it's a big one to be able to lose, to be able to have to go into Philadelphia rather than go into Tampa. I'm
wearing the Ravens top. You're wearing I just feel like they're the two locks of the week.
I would go with that too. Well, Bills I feel pretty comfortable with too. But
I don't feel as comfortable.
I do.
Maybe
love it.
He hates Bo Nix, this man. I hope Bo Nix breaks your heart.
I actually don't. I need to put it out there that I absolutely don't.
That.
But I just think that the Bills are going to be pretty good. Yeah, that's all. This one's massive though. This one is a massive game, and I actually don't know which way this could go because both teams have actually been playing some really good ball of late. Commanders and the Bucks. This is really, really exciting. Football. I can't wait for this game. I'm super pumped by it. I don't know which way it's going to go. I'll leave that alone. I'm going to say I really don't. But this is set up beautifully. You would like to think it's maybe similar to what we were hoping for the Detroit and Vikings game. I don't know if we get that, but it's set up. It's set up beautifully.
I've got a feeling it could be a sling fest. I'm just on PointsBet. I don't actually know who the favorite is. I'm assuming. Look, I think Commanders can win. And I'm looking at the odds.
I think the Bucks are because obviously naturally
are 240.
Yeah, but naturally being at home, I think the Bucks are. But I think it's closer than that. I think it's closer. I think that what Washington's been able to do, they're the last team to beat Philly.
I really rate
still
Washington.
back up. I think that, and it really does come down to their rookie quarterback, what he's been able to do. And it's massive. Like, we know what the Bucs secondary is a little bit like.
It's bad.
The Bucs have given up the third most passing yards, 261 per game. And that is set up beautifully for what Daniels wants to do for his offense. Scary Terry can almost put in as a lock, whatever his freaking over under is, you're going over.
Yep.
Even OZ's been massive for him, and Zach Ertz has been getting himself has been unbelievable for him, and Zach Ertz is finding way in the end zone almost every. He's been a beast, and I just think they're getting things going at the right time, and it's a bit of a danger game for the Bucs, to be honest. Let's face it, the Commanders are 12-5 for a reason. They've been able to prove it, multiple times this year when people have kind of counted them out that. They can go in and get it done. And this, I just feel it's a lot closer than what the odds are giving us right now. And maybe it's because it is a rookie quarterback and he hasn't played before and maybe in a big game or something like that. I don't know.
He's not really a rookie, though, when you watch him. He's different. He's the best rookie quarterback.
He's different. Yeah. And I can't wait to see what Scary Terry can do in a situation. He hasn't played, I don't think, in a playoff. I think he's maybe played in one playoff game.
Oh, really?
I think only one, maybe.
Maybe you're right.
And other than that, They haven't played the playoffs.
It's exciting, mate.
I'm excited. I'm really excited for this game. And if you look at the other side, well, we know what the Bucs can do too as well. Buck Irving has been massive. But you can continue on with some stats that you've got.
Well, yeah, you've nailed it. I actually think the Commanders can win, and I think Terry McLaurin. He had 17 yards against them last time. He's going to go off.
I think.
Some stats here. The Buccaneers are giving up the third most passing yards, and as you said, the 8th most passing touchdowns. So I expect Terry to get one of them. They also give up the 13th most receiving yards. I've said it all year that they've allowed a lot of, look at the Saints last week.
Yeah.
Like, I know that halftime they make those adjustments. It's hard to adjust to a quarterback that can run, though, when you can use your legs. So the thing that I love about the Bucs is they've really stopped the run.
Yeah.
I don't really trust anyone in the backfield for Washington as a running back. Like I can't sit there comfortably and put a prop bet on a running back for yards.
Robertson or Eckler, no.
But I can for Bucky Irving.
Yeah.
And they allow the fourth most rushing yards to the position. And he is the man. Like they're not mucking around with White now. It's Bucky. So I kind of think that it's going to be Bucky and Terry. It's going to come down to the last, quarter. And when you've got a 3.5 line, I'd take that over head to head. I think Washington still can win. It just has a great script about it. The Bucks, they've overachieved in my book.
Yeah.
I go back to my start of the season and I think about who they've got, but I think about who they've lost. They've lost a lot of players.
They have.
And the Commanders are quite healthy. And if you know anything about football, who's someone that Mike Evans has clashed with his whole career with?
Yeah, Lattimore.
And Lattimore might be back and he might be playing on Mike Evans. And that concerns me. Look, he might throw a few flags and there might be a little beef. They might both get kicked out the stadium. And if that happens, it's a nightmare. So McMillan's been strong. It's just a simple game. There's Terry McLaurin should get a heap of targets. I'd expect Daniels to use his legs. I don't expect them to rush the ball. And on the other side, it's Bucky Irving, it's Evans, McMillan, and that's it. And Baker Mayfield, shout out to Baker Mayfield. If you know anything about his story, he was, they gave up on him.
They did.
Everywhere.
Yeah.
And he's had to fight. And don't forget the performance he had at the Rams. It gave him a chance at the Bucks.
That's right.
His performance at the Rams, I don't know if anyone remembers that. He was playing a bit average and he won the game off his last throw.
Well, he won it off 4 days from being picked
exactly
up or
right.
something like
and
that.
he's just built differently. He is a dog.
He is a dog.
I don't know. It's good to see blokes like that get a proper crack at it. And it just comes down to coaching. So that's why Bryce Young and the way he's turned it around. But for me, I'm all in on the Commanders, mate. I think they deserve to have one win. Do I think they can win again? Well, you see when I do the playoff bracket later. But I think they are good enough to just get over the line.
Good. Perfect. I love that, Tommy. Excellent work. Well, here we are. Last one.
Yeah, this is probably the most exciting.
This is, I reckon it is the most exciting one for the week. It's an awesome matchup.
It's very simple on paper as well.
It looks very simple, doesn't it? But what an exciting matchup in the end. But Vikings at the Rams. Huge, huge game. I'm excited for it. In saying that though, I think the team that's won 14 games might get rolled.
Really?
Yeah.
It's never too bad. It's never as good.
I know.
That motto stands up. It was bad last week, but it's not. It hasn't been bad all year.
I know. I get it. But you've had to grind out that game last week and it's fair to say you got absolutely rocked, right? And their stars played. Rams are pretty darn healthy.
I don't think they're that good on defense.
And I don't know, but I think the Vikings got found out a little bit on defense too. At 31 points against you. You look at that.
I think this will be a high scoring game.
You look at that. You look at this offense, right? And they played each other earlier in the year, and the Rams got it done. Yep, there was maybe a questionable call. It was definitely a questionable call, but the Rams just find a way, mate.
What do you think PointsBet's got the odds for the Vikings and Rams?
Well, I think the Rams are probably slight favourites after what's happened last week.
The Vikings are favourites at $1.87. Rams at $1.95. The line 0.5.
Wow.
They're saying it's going to come down to the field goal.
It'll be last play type
which
stuff.
I agree. This is the flip of the coin.
It's going to be tight. Yeah. I just think that I don't know. I think the Rams have just got a great. Not that the Vikings don't, but I think the Rams have got a great system right now that are in place, and they just find ways to challenge each and every week still. And they did it last week, even though they lost to the Seahawks and that, but they didn't play anyone, and their system works. Get Stafford back. I don't know what the secondary is going to be able to do with Nakoa, like Puka and Cup. I don't know. I honestly don't know. I just think that they're too dangerous. And we saw what happened last time they played. The run games, obviously, that hopefully they can establish. Their line's still relatively solid, obviously, Minnesota. But I just think that the Rams can get it done. I think that you'll see them winning at home and moving on, mate. That's what I see.
This is our first time we've disagreed.
I think it is.
Did you go the Bucks or Commanders?
What did I do?
Yeah. Who'd you tip?
I didn't tip.
Oh, I was going to say, you didn't tell me. You don't know. You don't want to say Commanders, but you have to because we do the playoff bracket later. And you
Well,
must.
I know. That's what I was saving it for, mate. We kept a couple of elements of surprises.
Well,
Hey,
I'm
mate.
going to have to give you the. I was going to say, oh my goodness, he's been a bit sneaky there. I think the Vikings can get it done.
Yep. Okay. Yeah.
I think they can get it done. I think, look, okay, so I always go, this is what I used to do. I used to go, okay, who do you think's going to win? I don't know. Okay, go quarterback. I take Stafford because I take Stafford over Donald. But I like it. I don't mind the fact they got smacked. It's because they're not out. It's like, okay, guys, we lost, but who cares? We're still in the position that we probably should be in.
Yeah.
The Lions they are the 1 seed, and we're just stiff that we have to go to Rams.
Yeah.
I've watched the Rams the last 3 or 4 weeks. Jimmy G was pretty good last week.
Yeah.
But they haven't been that good the last. I think the Jets game was a bit slow and sloppy. The game before that, there's a couple, but they were flying a bit early in the year. Cup's been down. The best bet on the program for me, though, is Puka.
Yeah.
Minnesota do give up the second most receiving yards and 8th most receptions. He had 106 last time. So I really like Puka, but I think the Vikings can hold on.
Mm-hmm.
They aren't like they didn't have any injuries last week. The Lions, well, they lost a few again, which is crazy.
Yeah.
How they just keep holding on. They're just built differently. But I don't know. I just think the Rams, they allowed the 3rd most receiving touchdowns to receivers out wide, which is Addison. I think he'll get a tutty.
Yep.
They allow the 5th most receiving yards to people like Jefferson in their position, so Jefferson will get going. He'll respond. He's a superstar.
Yeah.
I just don't think you can stop that offense, and I reckon the Vikings defense is way better. They just met look, let's not underestimate the O-line of the Lions. You actually said to me last week, Tommy, you can't underestimate a good O-line versus a good D-line, and they're better, and they'll back themselves in. And I went, you know what, Sip, let's see.
Yeah.
And early, Gibbs was getting smashed.
Yeah, he was.
And didn't he break their heart?
Yeah.
I think he had 170 scrimmage yards.
He did.
So
4
that was
tutties and 170.
So that just told me that Penei Sewell and the boys, they're just better than the Vikings.
No.
But I don't reckon that's the case for this game. I reckon they can stop the run early and it become a bit of a sling fest. And look, it's gonna come down to the last play.
It's gonna be a cracking game.
I just think the Vikings can just hold on.
Okay.
But confidence level, mate, 0.
Yeah.
As I said to you, I think it's a last play job.
Yeah.
But this is the game
that
I'm gonna have a lot of fun with. Hope we win some cash on our Ravens and our Eagles. And
I hope we do too.
We just have a little bit of a prop play because I think Addison and Jefferson and Puka are such good players to watch. I tell you what, while we're on it though, I look at the name Hawkinson and I think of Jake Ferguson.
Yeah.
Those two have cost me so much cash this year. They haven't scored a touchdown all year. All year.
Nowhere near it.
So it wouldn't be surprising because they do allow the second most receptions. Look, that's the thing. The Rams give up so much in the secondary.
Yeah.
It's going to be fun. Mate.
Cracking. This is unreal.
Yeah.
It's great. It's the busy time of the year and it's the good teams getting after it, and now we just find out who's battle hardened and who can get it done.
I think of last year's wild card, what stood out. I think it was the Nico Collins first play touchdown.
Yeah, the huge one through the middle of the field.
That was one.
That was
I'm trying to think of any other games that stand out. I remember being in Mexico a couple of years ago and the Dolphins nearly beat the Bills with a backup quarterback, and I remember going, wow, this is a shock.
Yeah.
But that's all I can kind of remember.
Yeah.
It's I'm gonna have to. I didn't really do any prep on the last few years, but look, I just know that this is the most exciting week. You get to focus on the games.
You do. They're all on at great times for you.
Yeah.
Like it's perfect. It's easy viewing, and it honestly should be quality football.
Weather.
Really should be.
I haven't done a weather report, but we do have 2 games in a dome.
We do,
which is good. Bucks is normally good. But that, as I said, that last game, that Rams-Vikings game,
beautiful.
Going to be great. And by the way, Sip, we're going to cook up another special.
Yeah.
So everyone out there, download the PointsBet app. Check out the NFL specials page. American Aces will have our best up there. We'll do what we did last week, and we'll also get some specials, I think, for the Vikings and Rams game. We might get a few up. The boys have been, they're all about it. So shout out to PointsBet. That new helmet looks the grouse.
It does.
All right, well, last thing. And we encourage everyone out there to do this and tag us.
Pretty good.
We'd love to see what you think. I've had a couple of people DM in, and I'll give a little shout out to one of the lads that kind of reached out. And I said, well, mate, we'll review it on the podcast and we'll let you know what we've done, and you'll be able to see how you went against us. That was Saad. Sadi wrote in and he goes, what do you guys think? He sent in his playoff bracket. But Sip, it's time to go over ours.
is time.
And it's going to be fun. We'll post these and we
It
might
is
even clip
time.
these up, Brado. So let's get yours up, get mine up, and we'll close the show and let's have some fun. But
Let's get it done.
All right. So let's start off with our Super Bowl challenge. Head to I think it's just Super Bowl challenge on Google and you'll find it.
Yep.
We had a bit of trouble there, but we got there.
got it sorted.
Okay, start with the Chargers and Houston.
I'm going the Chargers, my man.
So am I.
Love it.
Pittsburgh Ravens,
Ravens.
likewise. And then Denver Bills.
Buffalo.
Same here. The Blinky Bills. And then we go to the LA, Minnesota.
LA.
I've gone Vikings. Actually, I'll save that one. Philly, Green Bay.
Philly.
Tampa and the Commanders.
I'm going the Bucks.
Oh, wow. Have you really?
I've gone with the Bucks.
You saved that?
Yeah, I did. Yeah, I went with the Bucks.
And how many points?
How many points?
Yeah, do you reckon they'll win by...
They win by 2.
Oh, wow. I like
tight.
it. That is good.
It's
okay,
tight.
so we need to work on how this looks
Yep.
on your screen.
Yep.
Let's go back to the AFC.
Yep.
Because we're very similar.
That's right.
So I've gone. So now we've got the Chargers who will play the Chiefs.
Yep.
You've gone.
I've gone the Chiefs.
So have I.
Yep.
And then we've got the Ravens Bills. You're gonna dog me here, aren't you? You dirty dog. This is the MVP game, by the way. I reckon.
I've gone with the Baltimore Ravens.
Oh yes, I was gonna say smart man. That'll be at the Bills, wouldn't it? That'd be
Cracking.
cold.
That will be at the Bills.
So we're on the same page on the AFC.
Yes.
Let's go back to the NFC. I've got Detroit Lions playing Washington. Does that mean that you have Tampa?
I have Detroit playing LA,
Okay, so yours is because
and
they've
that
skipped
mean,
over.
and I've picked Detroit to win. Yeah.
Okay, I had Washington playing the Lions,
Yep.
and I've picked the Lions.
Yep.
And then I had Philly playing the Vikings,
Yeah.
and
I've got Philly playing Tampa, but I've gone Philly.
I've gone Philly
Yeah.
as well. So we
Okay.
have the same conference round.
We should have the same conference round. Yes.
I've got. I should have done this for the theatre, but I haven't. Ravens, Chiefs. What have you done, King?
I've picked the Baltimore Ravens.
Really?
Yeah.
You think they can get it done?
I've gone with the Ravens. I think this is the year where they can get over the line against the Chiefs and make it to the Super Bowl.
Wow, that's big. You've been. That gets me up and about. That gets me up and
I
about.
thought it might. But that's honestly just what I think. Yep.
Wow. I feel bad. I'm obviously going for the Ravens as well, but I'm just thinking about the NFC.
Yeah,
I've
what
got
have you
the
done?
Eagles v Lions.
And you picked you've
I've gone the
dogged me.
Lions.
I've picked Philly.
Wouldn't
And
that-
I've picked Philly because I genuinely believe that while they have weapons everywhere, obviously for Detroit, I just think Philly got more. So I've got it. You've got Detroit, Baltimore, Super Bowl.
Oh, I
And
can't-
I've got Philly, Baltimore, Super Bowl.
yeah.
And I'm guessing you've tipped the Baltimore Ravens.
I've gone the Ravens.
And I've gone
Philly.
but Philly Eagles.
Wow. I mean, we're very similar. I mean,
We're similar in some ways. I have the Eagles winning it. I think they can go into Detroit and I think they can get the job done.
wow.
And they've been able to stop Baltimore for early in the year, and I reckon they do it again.
You reckon they can stop the run?
Yep.
And they can put some sort of pressure on Goff?
Yep. I do.
It's
Yes, I do.
I was thinking about this today when I was driving in.
You obviously don't think that they can.
This year's been such a. I mean, it was the year of the Lion last year.
Yeah.
It was the Brisbane Lions. Someone wrote that in. And I was thinking our fantasy grand final,
Mm.
me v you. I was thinking, imagine it was Ravens and Philly.
That's what I've gone with.
Do you know what I mean?
That's what I think. That's what I
It's
think
right
can
in front
happen.
of us. Then we just haven't. We're not looking into it. And that's
Oh,
why when I picked Detroit, I was like, oh, pretty banged up in the secondary. Do they run out of soldiers, or do they get them back?
So I don't know, but that's what I've gone with. I think I just don't think they get enough back.
I really wanted to pick Philly. I just thought.
Don't get me wrong. As I said, I would love to see Detroit win. I've said it all year. I would love to, but I just think
You know, if the Ravens
Just-
played the Lions, I'm very content because I'm happy either way. I know
Yeah.
I'm not, and I'm a fan, but as I said to you before, I've got some graphics
Yeah.
before, but
I'm happy with it too. If they beat the Eagles in the championship game, that's great. I love that.
Like, it's been
Love that.
It's been 66
Yeah,
years.
love it.
But we do know one more stat, don't we? We just got this one, a little late mail job. Pretty interesting, but someone just sent this in. Everybody knows the Ravens win the Super Bowl every 12 years and they score 34 points and they have a 28-year-old quarterback. 2001 with Diffler, 28 years old, scored 34, played him, and I think the other team scored 7.
Mm-hmm.
With Flacco, he was 28 years old in 2013, 34-31. And then this year, Lamar Jackson's 28, 34 question mark. Is that the weirdest stat
Talk
ever?
about a script. Talk about a script being written.
Well,
There you have it.
That's all we've got. I hope you enjoyed it. It's a longer show than normal, but they're going to be very short and sharp. We might even start some review shows. We'll let you know. But thank you. The tipping competitions are live. The Super Bowl party will be at the Osborne. We're going to get some info to you. Shout out to PointsBet. Look out for our specials and sip. That Super Bowl challenge. I'd love to see everyone else's because we'll post ours and see what they think. But we're very similar, which is pretty cool. Well, good luck, mate. Best bet. Do you want to say anything now or do you want to save it for the app?
I reckon we'll save it for the app.
Okay, smart. Give
Let's
ourselves
do
a
that.
few more days to see what's going on.
Get the markets really up and about it with PointsBet, and then we'll lock it in.
Love it, guys. If the Steelers beat the Ravens, you will not see me next week and you won't see me for the rest of the year. I'm not even coming back for the rest of, I know it's the start of the year, but I'm dying. I'll be done. There's no way known I'm walking back in this cinema, back in this room and talking NFL. I won't be able to look you in the eyes.
That's great.
All right, King. Good work.
done.
Good luck. This is the business end. Thanks to everyone. See you next week on the Aces NFL show.
That schoolboy defending.
This season, try PointsBet's NFL Bet Tracker. Bet on NFL markets like passing yards or receptions and follow them live in the PointsBet app. Available on singles, multis and same-game multis. PointsBet. Built different.
Imagine what you could be buying instead.